Hello, everybody. I wanted to make a quick video to kind of um, help with some security issues that maybe some of us are experiencing. After our first couple days, it's new and it's hard to get control of things and understand how things are working. So I've been kind of, getting some feedback from teachers and trying to process and think about ways that are easy to help teachers address issues that could be really, really frustrating. So I hope to bring that like frustration level down and also improve the experience for our students. So number one, if we have kids entering our Google Meets that are not supposed to be there, you can kick them out of the meet. And it's not hard. So if you look at this, I just have a meet here and I logged in as my own daughter into the meet and we're going to kick her out. So the first thing is you want to make sure that you either have the tiled view, or if you run the extension, what is it called? Grid View Fix. If you click that, this should work as well. And all you do is when you go over the picture of the student, right? You'll see that you can pin them. You have these options. This last option here with the circle with the line through it boots them out of the meet. So if you have a kid jump on the meet doing something inappropriate, as fast as you can, and I realize it's not super easy, find that student and boot them. Boop, remove. And they're gone and they cannot rejoin the meet. They can rejoin another meet, like tomorrow's meet, but they can't rejoin this meet. So that's how you boot a kid out. Make sure that you're in the grid view or the tiled view. And now, in my example, there's only two people in here, so a little different. But then you hover over their face, find that circle with the line through it, and just boot them out. So there's, obviously option number one, when a kid's in the meet and they're doing something they shouldn't. That's how you boot them. But let's look at kind of tightening up Google Classroom and some things like that. So I'm going to jump into Google Classroom here. I made just a fake classroom 321 to make this video. I highly suggest, just for ease and control, that you are using this generate meet link button right here. So what this does is this creates a link that sits in the banner of Google Classroom that kids can click on and you can click on to join that meet. Now, kids cannot join the meet unless you're in the meet. So what you want to do is maybe go in there, like a little bit before, and then kick all the kids out, get all the kids to leave at the end, wait about 2 to 3 minutes in the meet with just yourself in it, and then close the whole meet down. And in my tests, that's worked really well. And according to Google's, stuff they've put out, that's how you're supposed to do it. So I've done it with 3 student accounts now, and they haven't been able to rejoin. So it seems to work pretty well. But anyways, so you generate the meet link, you have to click it twice, and then click save. I'm going to show you why this is probably the best idea. So then all that happens is when you want to join the meet, you just go to your Google Classroom and you click this, and it'll start the meetup. Okay. And then when your kids want to join the meet, they just go into Google Classroom, they'll click this, and they'll start the meetup. Kids do not see the class code, by the way. That's just on the teacher side. All right. But the kids will see the meet link. So doing that might give you some control, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So what's happening is when kids are jumping into meets that they don't belong to, there's 2 things that could be happening. Thing number 1, they have gotten your class code, not your meet code, your class code. They've joined your Google Classroom, and then they're clicking either the link here or a link that you're posting, in your stream or your classwork. Or number 2, one of your students are copying this link and pasting it in an email or a text to their friend, who is then using that to join your Google Meet, which is, you can't stop them from joining once they have this little link. So, a couple things we could do to try our best to make this at least more difficult for students. First of all, go into the People tab. If you have students listed here who are not supposed to be in your classroom, remove them. Okay, so let me show you what that would look like. Switch accounts real quick. So here my People tab. I've got people here, and I would click this. Oops, I'm sorry. I would click next to their name, the check mark, and then the action remove. So I click the check mark next to their name. I can remove multiple people at once, and I can remove them. Okay. So you can remove kids who aren't supposed to be in there. Now, if they have your class code, they could just rejoin. So now we want to prevent that from happening. So go in, check for students who aren't supposed to be in there, remove them, then go to the settings button, click it, go right here, and you see right here, managing invite codes. We want to reset our invite code. So now the code changed to a different code. So they might try to rejoin with the old code that they snuck in with before. Too bad, so sad. You changed the code, they can't join the class. And the students can't give them that code unless you hand that out to those students. So once they're in and you boot out the ones that you know aren't supposed to be there, and then you reset that code, that should tighten up security on your Google Classroom. Don't give this code out to kids who aren't supposed to be in that class, and then you could prevent kids who aren't supposed to be there from joining. Okay. The second thing we could do is we can go down here to our Meet, where we control that link that's on our banner. And if students have taken this and copied and pasted it and given it to their friends, we can reset that too. So we can just reset that code. They won't realize you've done that. It still looks the same when you go up to the top to the banner. I mean, it's still just sitting up in the banner. They don't really realize that this gobbledygook at the end here has changed. And so kids join. Kid who has an older address tries to join and can't, because that Meet no longer exists. It's dead. Now, could a kid just copy paste the new one and give it to their friend? Well, of course. But you've made it a little bit harder for them to do that. You can also go in here and hide that code from them when you don't want them to get on. So you could hide the code, and then, you know, a couple, 3-4 minutes or whatever before, 5 minutes before you start your Meet, toggle that, hit save, and then it becomes visible again for students to click on. It might make it a little bit harder. The reality is kids are pretty smart about this, who want to be, and they can copy, paste this. But hopefully you've booted the kids out of your classroom who aren't supposed to be in your classroom. You've reset your class code so they can't rejoin. You know how to kick kids out of Meet. And then you know how to reset this code. Only if you're using this method in the banner. But you know how to reset this code just to frustrate them and make it more annoying to try to keep jumping in. Because every day you reset that code, and every old code, you know, is out of date, and they have to keep trying to get a new code, and hopefully that will frustrate them. But those are 3 ways that you can try to tighten up some of these things and hopefully control a little better. Like I said, the reality is, if a kid gets a hold of this code, you can't prevent them from joining the Meet. You can kick them out, but you can't prevent them from joining the Meet. You can prevent people from joining Classroom by just withholding this code from them once they've joined. You can also just add students by their email right here, or send them this link and they have no code at all. But you'd have to do that for every individual student, that you wanted to add it afterwards. So it's just a way to think about that. I hope that's helpful. I know I covered a lot of ground here, but I know it's also really frustrating for teachers when these things don't work the way you want them to. So